And now, making their way into the arena, hailing from the great pro wrestling state of Massachusetts, they are the hosts of the Top of the Cage podcast. Here are Bill and Juice.
Hello, YouTube subscribers, followers, viewers, listeners. If you are unfamiliar with us, which you shouldn't be, I am the super producer. I am Bill, joined always on this YouTube video by my tag team partner, my wrestling confidant. He is the future booking genius and the prince of pro wrestling podcasts. He is Justin Juice Cannon.
Boom.
Boom, baby. Now, Juice, we wanted to jump on the little YouTube video here quick because you and we were both in attendance for Survivor Series War Games at Boston, Massachusetts, TD Garden. Doing a little reorganization of the background. Love that. But yes, we were live in attendance. I thought personally we had some pretty decent seats. We were up in the balcony, but we had a good view. We had a good vantage point of everything War Games. And I'll say being in the live crowd for that event, it was a pretty good crowd. I think our section was a little dead at points, but we had a guy like up to our right who always got shit going, and he was kind of funny too.
I got shit going once. I got one Sammy Uso after it was like the fifth Sammy Uso chant.
We were also
I credit myself.
We were definitely carrying our section for singing Seth's song too.
Yeah, no, hands down.
I was vehemently screaming the Seth theme song because that's like all I wanted to do at Survivor Series. That's like the only experience I wanted to have.
Yeah, I also made it very clear when we were talking about it the day that was one of the things I was like most excited to do. Not even just to watch the matches. I just really wanted to sing. Whoa. And we got to do it. And it's just more exhilarating. I don't know why it's such an exciting thing to do, but it is.
Yes, and we just wanted to run down the Survivor Series card here real quick. Like we said, we were at the event. And of course, it kicked off with the women's war game match. And being in the live event for that, Juice, I thought it was pretty good. I thought the men's was definitely the better match of the two War Games matches, but I thought it sufficed as a War Games match. We had some table spots, some weapon spots, some hard-hitting action, throwing people into cages, and Becky, that finish was really cool. And the fact that that was her first match after coming back on an injury was impressive, to say the least.
For sure. And it's so fitting for the man to come back from an injury and do that spot because the man is, well, she said it on the Raw after Survivor Series. She is of the people, and that is for sure a man of the people thing to do. Becky's awesome. I'm glad that she's back. I'm really excited for her and a Damage Control feud. Give me that. Her and Bailey just work magic. Those are two of the best in the company. I think you could debate they are the two best in the company. Match, it was pretty good in person, but I started watching it back. I haven't finished the women's war game match yet because we were talking at the event and said that that's one definitely, it was really hard to follow in person and see what like you're supposed to be focusing on. So we might have missed things. I haven't even gotten into the actual like match there. And I mean by that, it was all 10 people in the ring. Still like 6 people in right now. And there's already things I've missed in person. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a great spot. Or we did see, but we had the eagle eye view and it was better from a flat view. It's definitely hitting a lot better. And I see why like critics and viewers are giving it higher than I originally thought it would get when I was looking at reviews the next day, because I was curious like what the consensus of people who watched it from home and the critics really thought. But really good match. It was fun in person, but definitely one it hits better when you're watching it on the pay-per-view.
That was a really fun match. I think the right people want it too. And like you said, I'm very excited to see what comes from the Becky and Damage Control feud. Next, after that, we kicked off with a banger of a singles match, AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. One of my favorite things about that match, and you and I had talked about this too, because we actually ended up going to the live bump recording that was at Guy Fieri's Mexican restaurant. I forget the name of it exactly, but we did see AJ Styles there. He was like the main attraction of that show. And, one thing I was saying to you while we were watching that was, I just want a good singles match. These are two guys who are the best in the world at what they do. They've had amazing matches all around the world with each other and other people that they've share similar styles and just companies with. And I think that it was good. I think that it could have been better personally. Being in person for like how all the lackeys and the muscle all kind of got out was pretty cool, because you saw them running through the crowd and like you saw all like the antics of like, I'm sure once they were off camera, like a few things of them just like running off, and definitely had like a good big fight feel, considering it was the only singles match on the card too, by the way. Well, the one that mattered, I should say. We'll get into how I feel about the other one, but yeah, I thought that the AJ Finn match was good. I was hoping it would be a little bit better, but I don't even remember who won. Actually, I'm trying to think of it now. I don't even remember who won.
AJ won.
Okay, because I was gonna say I remember feeling like AJ won, but yeah, it was good. Like there was a lot of good false finishes at some point. The crowd was really into it. Like I think the crowd was really fun for that match. I think it could have been better, but I was happy we did get like a pretty pure singles match towards the end of it.
I'm gonna give it rating. I was gonna give that the match rating, but I totally forgot. I say a women's match I give 3 out of 5 stars, which I know is on the lower side to other people. This match started off really slow, AJ Styles and Finn, but these are two just great technical wrestlers, veterans, and it even showed from the slow start, because you can't just instantly jump into it. It's a pro move to start slow and then build the entrance, not just go interest and not just go spot after spot after spot. And I think they did a really good job at that. And they really picked it up once it was just the two of them. And that was also just really well planned. I thought it was a well told story, a story that's been going on since Mania. I mean, Styles has been at odds with Judgment Day since Mania and since Edge was in charge. And I thought it was really great match. I say 3.75 out of 5 for me. I thought it really, really picked up once the distractions got out, which I did like that they like brawled and stuff. And AJ got to hit Dominic, because I don't like Dominic, so I like seeing him getting smacked around a little bit. I like the OC. It was fun. I thought it was a great finish too. I love Styles getting the win. That's who I thought was going to win. I'm really glad I did. Seeing a Styles match on a pay-per-view in person was an awesome experience. The crowd was hot, because AJ is popular wherever he goes, man. So yeah, it was a great singles match. And I thought there were 4 great matches on this card and 1 bad one. And, we'll get into the bad one next.
Yes, let's talk that bad one. You weren't even there for that match.
Nope, that's the one I did watch back because I had no interest in the match, which that's the first problem, because you see the build up to the match, no one really thought Shotzi was going to win, because she wasn't. She's not a big enough star yet. It was just a filler match. That's all it really was. And I didn't want to watch. Like, I was like, that's a perfect time to go check out the merch shops, get a couple beers. I drank one of the beers because I'm like, I have nowhere to put both of these. So I'm going to drink one, so I'll have to bring one back to the seat. It was really well timed. Like, as soon as I finished that beer, the match finished. So I went to my seat. But yeah, I watched it back. Really bad. Ronda just really regressed. I think that's the big takeaway, that from her last run, had some really good matches. This run, really boring. Like, when I am there live and see her live, and I'm not in the back and I'm actually watching the match, I'm booing her. If I was sitting next to you, I would have been booing her. I would have been time's up, get out, go away, all of that, trying to start shit. I'd be alone. No one would be joining me and go away chance. But
well, I wouldn't say that, because we did get a "We Want Sasha" chant going. Of course, being in Boston, it's Sasha's hometown.
Yeah, I
but
actually did hear that from the back.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting in my beer and I'm laughing.
yeah, and that made the cameras too. That made the live recording, and I think that really is a testament to how the fans are reacting to Ronda right now. They would rather somebody who stormed out of the company, somebody who literally took their ball and went home, than Ronda right now, which I think is a pretty tough
I think
story.
Sasha, she did that because she wanted the tag titles to be important and she values the business. And I think that's, it's an ego, but
I understand, but
Ronda,
it's still walking out on the fans.
yeah,
at the
no,
end of the day.
you're right. It is. It's still a big ego move and it's still selfish. But I don't know. I really dislike Ronda Rousey. I want her out. There's a reason I didn't care to watch live, and honestly, I'm surprised. The only reason I watched it back is so we could talk about it tonight. And she was a botch fest. She didn't really help Shotzi at all, and it also just doesn't help Shotzi's case because she's a person that gets a lot of hate. I remember they called her botch queen, and after Money in Bank, which she just takes a lot of risks. That's what she's known for, and she can really do that with an opponent like Ronda, who she can't really trust. And then I don't know, it just made both look really bad. And I don't know, I was disappointed, but luckily that was the only bad match of the card.
Yeah, like that apron DDT was just god awful. There's no excuses for that. I'm sure you or I could sell that DDT better than Ronda did.
Yeah, we're not trained at all. But yeah, maybe I would have sold it wrong, but I think I still would have sold it better.
And one match that did deliver was the triple threat match that followed. Personally, I thought this was my favorite match of the night, although like the men's war game, like at the end of it, I was definitely like, I went home very happy, but like watching this match and experiencing it live, I loved it. I thought it was a really great match. I thought every single guy in the match delivered. The finish was out of nowhere. And like you and I, again, we had seen Theory on the bump live, and he was just shitting on the crowd, saying he doesn't give a fuck about like what Boston thinks about him. He's not a kid anymore, blah, 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 acknowledge him. And he came out on top on 2 world champions, and I can't take that away from him. And the match itself was good. The finish was so unexpected and just a great way for him as a heel to win. And I'm a little excited to see what we get moving forward with Theory, because I know so many people were like, oh, Triple H is burying us in Theory. He's not an Austin Theory guy, blah, blah, blah. But I can see good things moving forward, and hopefully we just see kind of Theory's match qualities continue to improve, get more competitive, and maybe it leads to a match with Cena, because he has been calling out Cena a lot more recently too.
Yeah, I think Cena and Theory is still the WrestleMania move. Last match, women's match, I'll give a 1.25 out of 5. Keep forgetting to do it. This match, 4 stars out of 5. I really liked it. It was just great action. It was the match that's more about the technique and the wrestling quality than just about the story. I mean, of course there's a story there, but it's more about just the action and really ramping up the interest in the crowd and getting them hyped and ready for the main event, getting everyone on their toes, which is exactly what that should do. Perfectly booked. Triple H knew that I'm sure that's why he did it, because he knew that these guys would get everyone on their feet, get everyone excited again after the last match. And it achieved that. And not even just from the wrestling itself. It's funny, they had a little production issue where a Beyblades commercial
came out. I was just screaming, why is he coming out to Beyblades? What is happening right now? Like, what is going on? And then I love how there was a "Let's Go Beyblades" chant that got going at one point. Like,
yeah, just random people young, let him rip. It was really funny. It made the match even better. Just being there for the match better. And it was already a great match. Some really crazy spots, great finish, but just great spots throughout. The double hurt lock was a funny, interesting spot. Just lots of chaos. 3 just great performers. Like I always like Theory. I remember the guy who was, when he was getting rammed down our throats, to be like, he stinks. I never thought that. And I didn't mind him getting pushed down our throats, to be honest, because I like him. Seth is just, in my opinion, I've said it before in the podcast, best wrestler in the world. And I think when his career is said and done, I've also said this before, when his career is said and done, I think that's a guy that's debatably on the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. He is just a master. Bobby Lashley is just one of my favorite big men of all time. We were sitting in the balcony, we could see his muscle definition from there. That man is a scary man, but he's also like the nicest man. But in the ring, he's a scary man, and he showed that he's a beast. I like seeing him wrestle. I love seeing him pay-per-views. I love that he's been used a lot in the past couple of years and really been better used. I remember he used to be really misused when I was a kid, but he's getting great treatment recently, and he shows why in matches like this. I know when we were talking at the event, I said this was match of the night, but I do think the main event is, which we'll get to next, and there's a reason why I think that.
Well, let's get into it, Juice. The main event was the men's War Games, where we saw Sammy Uso. We got some Sammy Uso chants going. I felt like that was really necessary and great. We also got some Usi chants going at one point too, but Sammy and the Bloodline came out on top. One thing I just want to say before we talk about the actual live experience, did you see the thing about Roman being heated about the unplanned spot with Kevin Owens that ruptured his eardrum?
I did the hard slaps and like the little strike off that I remember from it. Very clear spot. We got a lot of reactions there. I mean, as they always do, those type of spots, and I actually really liked it. I thought it was a cool heated spot. I did see Roman did not like it. And it wasn't supposed to stay in there, but I guess KO felt like it was needed. I don't know, but I'm sure they can move past it. They're both professionals. Yeah, it's just interesting for him to say that. I didn't really expect to see something like that.
Neither did I, especially with KO. I feel like he's usually, I don't want to say better than that, but like you don't hear too much about Kevin Owens doing like unplanned stuff and stuff that makes top guys mad. But I thought that match was fun. Like the crowd was so hot for that match, and the action delivered. I thought every single performer in that match had a spot where they really shined. I thought every guy came out looking better than they went into it. Granted, except for the people that lost physically, but the end sequence, man, that was just so fucking beautiful. The Sammy Kevin Owens little hullabaloo. Then the low blow, the haluva kick, Sammy catching him, then throwing him to the ground for Jay to splash him. That was great. Like great finish, sold such an amazing story. The crowd reacted so well to it. And I think that like everybody was going into it was like, oh, was Sammy going to turn? Is this going to be Sammy's turn? Blah, 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 blah. No, it wasn't. Sammy Uso, the honorary Us, continues to be a part of the bloodline. The bloodline and him, their family, they love each other. Like, I think that the Survivor Series War Games match proved it, and I think last night on Raw also proved it. And I'm just so excited to see what this comes, because we all know it's coming, but like I don't want the ride to be over just yet.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely want to stay on this ride for as long as possible. I'm getting back in the line once the ride's over. I get off the ride and going back on it again. I really love the match. It wasn't just the finish. I thought the whole match I was really engaged. I know I remember even the crowd there live were kind of like complaining about the slow start. I didn't think it was a slow start. I thought, that's when I started the watch back too, didn't finish yet. But I know it was Butch and it was Jay. I thought they were doing a pretty good job at the get-go. And then throwing in Sammy there, well, Ridge, then Sammy, because the good guys had the advantage, which I thought it was an interesting move, but I thought it was the right move, especially for the story they're telling. And this was all storytelling match, but also had some great spots. I thought it was also another great War Games showcase for Butch, aka Pete Dunne. He is a War Games pro. He always excels so much in this match. I think he's after Sammy, Jay, and KO. That's the star of the match. I think that's the dark horse star of the match. And from just a technical standpoint, the finish, awesome. And even after, like, I'm reading like the analysis of it, and like eventually someone will turn, but also like all 5 more together. And yeah, Jay gave him the hug and stuff. But then they had this moment where both Roman and Jay looked at him like still with mistrust. And I think that someone I saw online said it best, that they saw that Sammy was willing to betray his best friend, his like a guy that he was a best man of a wedding. He was willing to do that. So why wouldn't he be willing to betray his new family? And that's where they took that from, because he's still not blood as much as we want him to be, and as much as we call him Sammy Uso. It's not actually blood. Even though I saw something funny online where someone was like they seriously thought he's rich. He's a part of the Noi family. I'm not even kidding. They weren't being sarcastic. They were like arguing with people about it. But yeah, awesome story. Sami Zayn, I love how over he is. It kind of reminds me of this how over Daniel Bryan was. And yes, movement. I love it. Love me my Sami Zayn. Keep giving me the Sammy. Sammy and Jay, they have great chemistry, both in ring and just outside of it. Which it's tough for me to give credit to the Usos, but I will, because they deserve it. Reigns, I mean, he's the tribal chief. I acknowledge my tribal chief. Awesome match, awesome action, and it had a little even more story into it. It had just Drew really being frustrated and, you know, trying to take out Roman by getting and really trying to look dominant, trying to look like I deserve another shot. I keep getting screwed by this guy, so I'm gonna just, you know, beat the shit out of him. And then Sheamus really being built as the next contender. KO as being also a frustrated guy who was even been screwed more over than Drew. And also, you know, that history of Sammy, and then the Usos and Brawling Brutes having their history. It was so many great storylines, I think, built in one by 10 guys that are 10 of the best guys in the company and really excel at what they do. They do it better than not just most people in WWE, but most people in other companies as well. And there's a reason that they were in the main event. All 10 of these men deserve it. Even Ridge, I mean, I know Ridge gets some hate, and even for me, gets some hate for, you know, what happened before. But you know, he's still a good wrestler, and I think people don't forget that he also got put on the shelf by a bad injury. So, you know, I think he's redeemed himself.
All right. And do you have any final takeaways from Survivor Series, as we were there live? My only one is I just wish they put the damn Titantron a little lower. The little Titan, the screens above the match, the ring itself, because especially during the War Games matches, I had no fucking idea what was going on sometimes. So that would have helped.
Yeah, that should have been lower. Match rating for that one, I think I give that a 4.25 out of 5. I think that was my match of the night. Other takeaways, Beyblades are cool.
That they are. And if you have any other reactions from Survivor Series, or if you were there yourself, maybe you snapped a picture of us for some reason, you can let us know on social media how you felt, what you saw, what you think. And Juice, where can the people do that?
On Twitter, capital T, capital O, capital T, capital C, _ capital P, lowercase o, lowercase d. Instagram, TOT_POD.
You forgot the C, but I won't criticize you for that. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, as we come crashing down to the mat on this YouTube video of Top of the Cage, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are liking, rating, and subscribing this video. And make sure you're following us on social media. Like Drew said, links are also going to be in the description below. And again, we hope you all enjoyed this video, and we will catch you next time.